In modern Russia, a revolt of the elites is possible, but it is difficult to say when this will happen. This was stated in the chat on Glavred by Russian opposition politician, State Duma deputy, the only one who voted against the annexation of Crimea, Ilya Ponomarev. According to him, the main factor in politics is the time factor. Accordingly, any question posed must be clarified. Is a revolt of the elites possible in Russia before the end of summer? No. Is a revolt of elites possible before the end of 2026? It is possible, but its probability is low. If the time limit on the issue is removed altogether, then of course it is possible, he emphasized. Ponomarev noted that the Russian elites are absolutely unprincipled. They are all about bucks and personal interests. At the moment, Putin has the ability to satisfy most of these interests, but not all. The discontent of the Russian elites increased sharply in April to June because they failed to reach an agreement with Trump. The elites believed that the proposal was great and should be accepted. The leader and wise teacher was waiting for the West to give in. Well, the West gave in and the boss is not ready. The elites are wondering, how long will they have to suffer until he finally matures? Therefore, discontent has increased sharply, he emphasized. The Russian opposition politician added that people do not see much to gain for themselves if they take action. There is a loss from inaction, but it is not catastrophic. We have already gotten used to it. And the risks associated with the fact that it will not work out are huge, and there are physical risks, for example, a risk to life. Therefore, there is no motivation to act now. But this does not mean that it will always be like this, because the risks can decrease and dissatisfaction with life can increase significantly due to sanctions and other things, he says. At the same time, in his opinion, if the international community were to offer a beautiful alternative, that would be a bridge, an exit to normality and a big bonus for people who might decide to plot. This would, of course, push them. But for now, unfortunately, we act differently, believing that in Russia, everyone is the same, that there is no one to negotiate with about anything, and the sanctions policy is exclusively a stick without any carrot. No attempts are being made to split this community. On the contrary, it is being cemented, and around Putin. Of course, in such a situation with a riot, everything is complicated, Ponomarev concluded.
Thai and Cambodian soldiers fired at each other in multiple contested border areas Thursday, injuring 3 civilians, after the nations downgraded their diplomatic relations in a rapidly escalating dispute. According to Associated Press, videos from Thai independent broadcaster TPBS showed people running from their homes and hiding in a concrete bunker Thursday morning amid explosions and gunfire. Clashes appeared to be ongoing in several areas. The first clash Thursday morning happened in an area where the ancient Prasat Ta Mon Tom temple stands along the border of Thailand's Surin province and Cambodia Otter Meanchey province. Both Thailand and Cambodia accused each other of opening fire first. Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Manet said Thailand attacked Cambodian army positions at Prasat Ta Mon Tom and Prasat Ta Krabi in Otter Meanchey province and expanded to the area along Cambodia's Pria Vihir province and Thailand's Uban Ratchathani province. The Thai army said 3 civilians in Surin province were injured when Cambodia fired artillery shells into a residential area. It said residents in the area had been evacuated afterward.
Lo. Biên lo lo. Dữ.
เขายิงกันแล้วเหรอพี่ได้ยินเสียงปืนไหมคะเพราะว่าไม่ได้อะไรเลย
ทหารของกัมพูชานะครับนี่นะฮะนี่ฮะปืนใหญ่จากตรงนี้นะครับข้างหลังแอดมินนะครับจะล็อกเป้าไปที่ทหารของกัมพูชานะครับ
Thousands of people gathered in Kiev and other cities across Ukraine on Tuesday to urge the president to veto a controversial bill that threatens anti-corruption infrastructure. It marked the first major rally against the government in more than 3 years of war. According to Associated Press, Ukraine's parliament passed legislation that will tighten oversight of 2 key anti-corruption agencies, which critics say could significantly weaken their independence and give President Volodymyr Zelensky's circle greater sway over investigations. Zelensky signed the bill into law, according to the parliament's website late Tuesday. Fighting entrenched corruption is crucial for Ukraine's bid to join the European Union and maintain access to billions of dollars in Western aid. The legislation's passage has triggered public outrage in Ukraine, with some saying it appeared to be a greater moral blow than the routine Russian drone and missile attacks. The changes would grant the Prosecutor General new authority over investigations and cases handled by the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office. In effect, if this bill becomes law, the head of SAPO will become a nominal figure, while NABU will lose its independence and turn into a subdivision of the Prosecutor General's office, the agency said in a joint statement on Telegram. In a post on X, the EU's Enlargement Commissioner Marta Kos expressed concern over the vote in the parliament, called the Rada, calling it a serious step back. Kos added, independent bodies like NABU and SAPO are essential for Ukraine's EU path. Rule of law remains in the very center of EU accession negotiations. While rallies have taken place during the war in Ukraine, they have largely focused on the return of prisoners of war or missing people. Protests, however, remain a traditional form of public pressure in Ukraine, where 2 previous revolutions were victorious for the public. Corruption is a problem in any country, and it must always be fought, said Ihor Lechenkov, a blogger and activist who urged people to join the protest through his social media platforms, which reach more than 1.5 million followers. It is important to fight corruption so that more money goes to the armed forces of Ukraine, he said. The more effectively the government uses our resources and there is less corruption, the more we will be able to direct resources to our defense, to our fight. The Ukrainian branch of Transparency International criticized Parliament's decision, saying it undermines one of the most significant reforms since what Ukraine calls its revolution of dignity in 2014 and damages trust with international partners. The group urged Zelensky to veto the law, warning that otherwise he would share responsibility with the Rada for dismantling Ukraine's anti-corruption infrastructure. Many protesters carried signs reading, "Veto the law, protect the anti-corruption system, protect Ukraine's future," or simply, "We are against it." The mood of anger and frustration among the war-weary Ukrainians prevailed in the crowd. Some protesters accused Ukraine's leadership of prioritizing loyalty and personal connections over the fight against corruption. Those who swore to protect the laws and the constitution have instead chosen to shield their inner circle, even at the expense of Ukrainian democracy, said veteran Ola Symeraz, sitting in a wheelchair because both his legs were amputated after he was wounded in 2022. Instead of setting an example of zero tolerance for corruption, the president is using his power to take control of criminal cases involving his allies, he said. On Monday, Ukraine's domestic security agency detained 2 NABU officials on suspicion of links to Russia and searched other agency employees on unrelated allegations. Zelensky's office didn't respond to a request for comment. Last week, the president carried out a reshuffle of his wartime cabinet, a move widely viewed as further consolidating power within his inner circle.